First, sponsored by Natex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you. Another very overcast, gloomy, chilly day. That is a view from our Roofing Dog Eye Carriage Crossing camera in downtown Decatur. As you can see that view there. And the view is not going to get much better here through tonight as the clouds and the rain stick around. You can see some showers showing up here, especially as you get south of I-74 and closer to I-70. A little bit of light rain will be possible, and it's a cold rain again as the temperature is only 41 degrees in Champaign. It is 40 in Springfield and 43 in Effingham. So it'll look like this with another chilly night ahead. Temperatures hovering there near the 40-degree mark. There is some light, literally light, sunshine at the end of the tunnel. We'll talk about that and when to expect it when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now
on WCIA 3 News.
State leaders are trying to help people take advantage of job opportunities, how they are giving them the skills they need to succeed. It was a busy day for COVID-19 testing in Champaign. How many people showed up to see if they are positive?
And a man who pleaded guilty to sexual assault has been trying to clear his name, what a judge decided today.
Your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
Manufacturing is as much our future as it has been of our past.
And getting more people into the field is the goal. To get that done, new training opportunities are on the way. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Illinois' manufacturing industry is a big job creator, but those jobs require more skills than before. WCIA 3's Cole Henke was there today. So, Cole, how can people take advantage and eventually find work?
Community college programs across the state can now apply for the funding for these new training programs. The state will pick two of them, one in Central Illinois and one in Southern Illinois. They will focus on teaching skills used in what the governor and others at the event called next generation engineering jobs. And the goal is to make sure anybody can get this training, whether it be someone new to the trade fields or a seasoned manufacturer looking to evolve with the times.
Community colleges are for, anyone in the community. So we hope that these will be available to anyone who wants to upskill their talent themselves. Yeah.
The governor chose Eden Park Illumination in Champaign as the location where he would announce the new project. The company has jobs available because during the pandemic, their product is facing extremely high demand. Coming up at 6, we spoke with the CEO of Eden Park Illumination to talk about that new product and exactly what he and others in the industry will get out of this new training program. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Henke, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Cole, we'll see you again at 6. Thanks. Governor Pritzker also says the state will be sticking with the regions put in place under the Restore Illinois plan. County leaders had called for Champaign County to be separated from the rest of Region 6.
Just because a single county might be doing better than another county, you don't live in isolation. People are traveling to and fro from one county to another all the time. Sometimes people live in one county and work in another. And so that's why we haven't wanted to break down the regions.
The governor also says there are no changes to allow restaurants in other regions with increased mitigations to have indoor seating at restaurants and bars.
So let's take a look at today's COVID-19 numbers. The positivity rate for Region 3, which is west of Macon County, has hit 8%. If it stays above this threshold for 3 consecutive days, it is at risk for more restrictions. Statewide, the positivity rate, 6.4%. Hospitalizations, they're also on the rise. There are more than 2,700 people in the hospital with COVID-19. 595 are in the ICU. 241 are using a ventilator. Health officials reported 4,000 new cases today. Another 46 people have died. That includes 6 in Central Illinois. A senior living center in Monticello is facing a COVID-19 outbreak. It's at ARBOR Rose Adult Daycare and Memory Care. The facility cares for people with dementia. A representative says they have several positive cases, but declined to say exactly how many. The facility says it's closely monitoring symptoms and keeping families updated. They're also working with the county health department to keep the building sanitized. Now, with positive tests on the rise across the state, more people are getting tested. The testing site at Marketplace Mall in Champaign is a prime example. This morning, more than 100 cars were in line. They were lined up around the mall, making it difficult to get in. The drive-through testing site hasn't seen this kind of response since it opened in May.
Now, you hear about car theft stories, but not like this one. Decatur police say 6 cars were stolen over the past 2 days. 5 of those were left running. Police say in one of the reported thefts, the suspects were described as being 8 or 9 years old. In another, police were able to find the car, but it was wrecked. Police are investigating after shots were fired near a daycare in Urbana. It happened near South Curtis Drive and Vermont Avenue this morning. Police say about 5 shots were fired. No one was hurt. There was damage to a home. We talked to a neighbor who's lived in that place, in that area for years. They say it's a quiet, tight-knit community.
Pretty shocked. Nothing like this happens down here. So, I mean, even when the officers talk to us, he's like, it's usually really quiet down here.
No one is in custody.
A murder trial in Effingham County that's already been delayed once has now been halted again. Christopher Glass was charged in the shooting death of Kimberly Mattingly earlier this year. His trial was first moved from September to this week. Now it was moved to November 23rd. The Effingham County Circuit Clerk did not immediately have a reason why it was moved. Another man, Aaron Kaiser, was found guilty last month of concealing Mattingly's death on his property. His sentencing is set for Friday. Here's an update now. A judge turned down a man in Vermilion County trying to prove his innocence. Jason Matthews pleaded guilty to a sexual assault charge 20 years ago, but says he didn't do it. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting joins us now. So, Courtney, what exactly is going on here?
Well, Paul, Matthews says he just recently got in touch with the victim in this case. For years, the two never talked to each other. That's because she thought he hated her. To break this down for you, Matthews was facing felony charges for sexually assaulting Nikita Holmes. She was a minor at the time. Matthews and Holmes both say that never happened. Matthews was faced with serving time or taking a plea deal. He took the deal, but now this conviction is on his record, stopping him from getting a job or even picking his kids up from school. Now he's trying to clear his name by showing that Holmes says the assault didn't happen. But today in court, a judge dismissed it.
If you run my name, I come up like Christmas lights, just showing that I'm a pedophile, I'm a rapist, the victim was 12 years old, yada, yada, yada. That's what it shows. Now, it's a good thing if that's true. Okay, that information needs to be out there. But when it's not true, it's very dangerous.
Matthews' argument is that investigators never interviewed Holmes back in the day. She told us the same thing. That's why this case is coming up now, because he's considering Holmes' statement new evidence. But I talked to the state's attorney, and she says Holmes was interviewed 20 years ago and that Matthews provided a full confession, which you can't retract 20 years later. Matthews is still trying to contact legislators to get his conviction removed. He says he's contacted the governor and the lieutenant governor, but hasn't heard back. Paul?
Does he have any other options at this point other than those that you mentioned through lawmakers or the governor's office?
He says he's still looking into it, so he's open to any suggestions, of course, if people have them.
All right, I know you've been following this case and you'll keep us updated. Courtney, thanks. And this case first came about when Holmes was 12 and Matthews was 17. Matthews and Holmes grew up together and hung out. They both say Holmes' mother had issues with Matthews and she likely filed a police report about him, but she says she doesn't even remember doing that.
A house in Marshall burned down. It happened yesterday at Archer and First Street. No one was home. Firefighters don't know a cause. The house is a total loss.
Police reform was back on the discussion table today in the Capitol. The changes public leaders talked about.
Plus, Election Day is only a week away, and early and mail-in voting is continuing to break records. We'll take a look.